on the side here. Yeah.
Okay,
Where-
got you.
Yeah. It's weird. Only this chat allows me to attach the documents in case you don't have them available. So sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay.
Thanks for clarity.
Okay, so let me do my magic again. Right, so we're going to we want to get from 3 weeks to 3 days, maintaining full FICA and KYC compliance. And we or you have been asked to prepare an interview with a credit manager. Right. So before we open any AI tool, there's a question here for all of you, and let's get some answers. What information would you want to walk into that interview already knowing? What are some of the things that you would want to know as a BA going into this interview now for the project? Okay.
So I would definitely want the existing information that is already available.
Right. Yes. And that's great because now the tool can ingest and summarize that for us a lot quicker without us having to spend a lot of time writing it, right? Or reading and comprehending it all before we go in, right? So it narrows not only time. AI doesn't only narrow the time for us to produce artifacts, it also helps us reduce the time for preparation. It won't replace preparation, but it will cut down a lot of time, giving us that ability to summarize text and all of that going forward. So we're going to break out into rooms. I'm going to ask just now what everyone's preference is. Would you want rooms of 2? Do you want rooms of 3? How best do you feel like you want to work? Because it's going to randomly choose people into it for part 1 and part 2. Right, so part 1, the times are indicative. We've got till 2:30 because what I want to do then is we'll have a group discussion around how this all went, and then we're going to do a small formative activity or start it off a formative activity just with me on the call so we can all get to understand it. Right, so part 1, we're going to prepare for the interview. So your question has been answered. What do we need? What do we do? You know, what existing stuff have we got? You'll find everything in the 2 attached docs, hopefully. And then part 2 is where now you will implement sessions 1 and 2, and we're going to generate a proper artifact we could essentially keep and work with. And the key point to remember around this, and I keep hammering on because there's a lot of fear, you know, in the world around AI, around job losses and things it can and can't do. Just always remember, AI always finds what is said. So what is in the context, what is in the documents, what does it find online? What we provide is what is not said, right? So it's your intuitions, it's your experience, it's common sense, right? As intelligent as they say these AIs are, there is no common sense to it, right? It just reads the fact as it is. And then, yeah, we'll meet back up, we'll discuss it. There are a few little interesting quirks in this which we will discuss afterwards. I don't want to give any of it away. And yeah, we're going to have fun. I've got both chats open now, so I will get to every question. And before I do the teams, I just want to say a good BA uses AI. A good BA using AI is faster and more thorough than one working alone. But AI can't replace our judgment, our expertise, or the relationships we have. That's you. Right. So remember that when you enter into this exercise and the learnings thereof. So it looks like we'll go with 3 per room. I'll click that magic button again. I'm just sorting this out quickly. There we go. There are 3 per room. Okay, apparently I have to start from scratch. Okay, not a problem. Okay. We're going to do, so I just want to check people again. There are 23. So at least it's an odd number, so someone will have 4, but here we go. Any questions? I've got both chats open. Feel free, but everything's in those 2 attached documents. And enjoy. This is fun. It's not stressful, and it's very creative. There we go. And rooms are opening. Okay, Yanis, I think those 2 will be auto moved once they're off hold.
No problem. Dallas,
Yes.
you'll see that you're going to receive a lot of invites. It's for the AI components for the rest of the modules.
Yes, I was just going to message you afterwards.
Yeah, so you must just check the dates. I think they did send you the dates. So I just didn't have time to actually put you in the sessions. So just let me know if there's anything that clashes or anything, please.
Yes, I will do. I'll
Cool.
do that after this, and then yeah, we can
Not a
catch
problem.
up.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
man. Thanks.
Okay.
Douglas.
Yes,
Douglas,
hi. Yes, hi.
hi. Do you mind taking me back to room 2?
Sure. Oh, there you go.
Helemaal vanuit both cappuccino and full jumped on.
Oh, good day.
Hello, Olga.
I'm back. There was a call coming in, so I'm out of my group. I don't know what happened.
It should auto move you. Which group were you in?
It was group one, I think.
Group one.
Yeah, I think it was group one. I didn't check where there's
It looks like
uh,
it could be. Who was
Wandile,
in Wandile?
and Puleng and Kalai.
That was group. It's looking here. Wandile. Yes, group one. I'll put you in there now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Moving you across. Yeah, I'm just seeing why it's not auto moving you. It should. It's telling me the room is full. If you click on the top, the teams, it's where it says rooms. Do you see the list of rooms there?
Sorry, I'm on mute. Can I click on join room?
Yes, there we go. You should
Okay.
have a
Even, eh?
Mm.
What's it? God, before we switch, and
Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, so that was, I think, as difficult as things would get using AI to prompt. It was a sort of an intro into what tomorrow holds, and specifically module 2, where we become a little bit more advanced using more than one conversation at a time. So let's just have, I want to wrap us up within the next half hour, and I want to touch on the formative activity that was in the very first set of BA notes that came with the pack. I've also added some info into the learners notes for session 3. And then I just want to sort of run through it as well. So in the chat or speak or unmute, what was the one thing from today you think you'll use in your next project?
Mm.
Or next task, should we say? It doesn't have to be a project as such.
I don't think I can necessarily say one specific thing. I think it's more from my side, thinking about the question I'm asking as well as what the output is that I want and how specific I want it to be, if that makes sense. So it's not one specific thing. It's more an overview of a rewiring your mind as to how you would prompt and what you actually want out more specifically.
Exactly, and like I've said, that becomes the most difficult thing, is reframing how we change things and how we do things, right? It's very easy to, and I mean, these are things I still do all the time. It's very easy to do what we call a one-shot prompt, 2 sentences, and then you get an answer and you feel frustrated because you can tell it's a bad answer, and then it's like, you go, okay, got to do the 4 C's, got to be a little bit more specific. I must remove ambiguity, and I'm not even in how would I say, I'm in market research as well and marketing, so I don't have all the jargon through there. So yeah, I can imagine specifically now with FICA and KYC and all of those things, a bad prompt will just frustrate you even more. But yeah, changing the mindset is by far the most difficult thing. People don't like change. So yeah. What surprised you the most? That's for everyone. What surprised you the most about the AI output quality?
I think for me, Douglas, the output was on our room. We used the same prompt, but gave 2 different outputs. So for me, that was a new revelation. I thought maybe if you use the same prompt, you would get the same output, but that was not the case.
Yes, that does. I mean, that does get everyone, because you're assuming we're all using the same model. I'm giving you the exact same task, and what it boils down to is we cannot, without the human, what's the word I'm looking for? The human qualities, the humanness we bring into the process, is that we can discern what outputs and what value we get out of those things, right? And the machines are just blurting out what he comes across first, right? So we can narrow it down, and yet the machine still gives us a different answer. And you yourself can get the same or different answer in the same conversation if you prompt it twice in a row. Experiment, try that out. You'll see that it now tries to rethink, why has he asked me the second time again, or why have they prompted? So yeah, it's interesting take. Colton.
Thank you, Dallas. Yes, from our side, if the AI was human, you'd have been upset with us asking all the same questions or in a different way. But yes, when we put on the prompt, when we change a couple here and there, we change the prompt, and they give us an answer. We went to the answers and said, no, man, it's too high level. So we asked him to make it more clear and precise. And he did that. And that for me was quite, and he actually agreed with us, stating the first answer they gave us was too on a high level for the cadet manager. And he actually defined the questions to a point that we were happy with it. So yes, I'm quite happy with it. Thanks.
No, great. And it's funny, luckily they don't get upset. But when we hit module 2 and we explore the agentic side of it, you can give it personality. So like I have 3 agents and all have different personalities and talk back to me and get upset. You can see it in their replies, right? So yeah, going forward, we will explore this and how do we pick up, because there are tells when the AI is getting, I'll say the word tired, and you start getting the same answers again, right? But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting how these machines work. And yeah, we're lucky they don't get upset. They'll keep answering as long as we keep asking. Amanda.
Okay, hi, yes. In terms of my analogy around this is, I think initially it felt a little bit overwhelming in terms of contextualizing, the task, and what you would like to expect to derive from the task, at the end of the day. But once you get your mind to it, it actually works out perfect. The other thing is also that what I can see is that in our group, we've seen that if you miss something, you can actually prompt AI to add it onto what you have missed. And it will continue to with the same narrative. I think the part for me that's important is to look at what AI provides and make sure that it still meets the outcome in terms of what you would like to ascertain. Because I have seen before as well that with AI, it sometimes gives you incorrect information. And I think that's the part that we need to be careful of, and where the human intervention. But yes, it is quite scary to see that AI already, has so much information. And in a certain extent, we also defaulted, like, for example, there were 2 additional questions that we were supposed to ask. And we were thinking up those questions ourselves, and then we realized, oops, but actually we can ask AI for 2 additional questions. So yeah, just a very, very interesting thing. And then also at some point in time, AI also gave us more than what we even anticipated or asked. So it's all about how do you draw that line in between what you expect, what you need, and then the outcome that's provided to you.
Yes, and that if you go look at the constraints and the 4 C's is exactly that, right? Because it's very easy to get information overload, and then it becomes, I think it can become a little bit unproductive when there's too much now, because now you're going to spend a lot of time sifting through it. But yeah, I'm glad you had fun and you saw the benefit of it, and you touched on a very salient point there, is that, and the one I've stressed is that it's co-pilot, not autopilot. And then the minute you realize that here's a teammate who reads faster, I wouldn't necessarily say understands all the time, but understands to a fairly good degree of what we're trying to do, just prompt it, and as long as your initial prompt is good and refined and has the 4 C's in enough detail, your subsequent chats afterwards can be a little bit shorter, right? Because then, like you said, you can target specific places in it. Let's say it gives 5 points. You can keep talking around point 4, and then all you do at the end of that sort of conversation is please regenerate and summarize it back into its original form, and then you have it presented back to you with all the noise and clutter removed out of it. You know, so that's the nice tool. That the nice thing around this tool is that you can go into these rabbit holes of conversations around specific points or general points, and then bring it back with one prompt and say, you know, given what we've did, you know, and you just think how you would speak to a person. You say, like, so given how we've conversed over point 4, regenerate your original answer, putting those points in place, or change it as needed. So yeah, really good. Anyone else? So we're going to touch on I got one question which we'll lead on for tomorrow, and that is, if there's anything you're still unsure about from today, think about it this evening, and I will give us time tomorrow as we kick off and discuss these questions, right? So it can be quite overwhelming. We covered quite a lot today. So I just wanted to plant that seed. If there's anything, you know, generally when you're not doing something, questions around what you did pop into mind, make a note of them. And I think you can still, even in Teams, post it into the chat, and we can look at them tomorrow if there's anything outstanding. So glad you all enjoyed that exercise. I had fun creating it. Yeah, it's only going to get better now. Right. Okay, so in the BA inquiry, of course, there's a prerequisite there, 10.622, which is all around professional business communication. So as part of the portfolio of evidence, which will go to Evans, the other facilitator, as you know, and you can submit this work as part of all of that. We're going to implement what we've learned now on this last exercise, and we're going to draft a communication to our stakeholders. This is in lesson 3. It's, I think, the last 2 or 3 pages. And what we're going to touch on, though, around communicating is the transparency around what we've done, right? So, you know, in the age of AI, this does include a new skill now over and above what we've done with prompt engineering, is being transparent about when and how we used AI. Okay, and the 3 principles that I sort of encourage people when I give talks and training on is transparency, right? First and foremost, because there's already a stigma around AI. You'll find there's people generally that are against it. There are very people that are for it, and very few people sit in the middle. So what we want to do is be transparent so that whoever receives sort of our output understands where AI was used and where a person intervened. Right, we'll go to some examples. So always flag AI generated content. On the footer of a page, you can put something there, like the example I have is initial draft generated by AI assistants, validated and refined by Dallas, or your name, etc. By doing this is what we call it, it's an earning of trust, of confidence that yes, we've used AI, we've reviewed it, our judgment, and we're putting our name behind what we're presenting. The next big thing, and we've touched on it a little bit, is the audience, right? So we all know, and I think for those that have had the pleasure or displeasure of talking between engineering teams and executive teams, very different kinds of language, right? Detailed changes. The AI can write both or many versions of the same message depending on who our audience is. And going back to the 4 C's is that it can fit in context and it can fit in a constraint, right? So we used in the example, we're doing it for ourselves. So we were BAs asking for that process, and the constraint was we don't want any technical jargon. So always be mindful of who the audience is. The AI can take something we've written as well and then reword it depending on our audience, and then we can get the same sort of boilerplate template and send it on. Then, of course, the part that's in the the learning objective number 5, I think it is professional validation, right? So never submit any AI output that is unreviewed by you, right? Your name is your judgment, not the AI's, right? That's what it comes down to, is our professionalism in stating we have, that we have reviewed it, we've made sure we've actually reviewed, not just saying it, and making sure that everything is correct to best of our knowledge. Of course, unsure, I don't want to say ask the AI to validate it, but peer review also comes in there, right? The same you would do without AI. I've given you an example of how I would put one at the end of a BRD, right? Or your requirement section, very simple there. This requirement section was drafted with AI assistance using Microsoft Copilot. The facilitator, validated all requirements against the workshop transcript and added regulatory requirements, named them, that were not captured. So now we're showing we've actually added things, and then the final version approved by myself. So these are just little bits of advice and experience I've learned over the years of seeing actual people make mistakes. For all of you that follow the news, our country had a submission for this new AI law that we're going to pass. It went into Parliament and it was thrown out because it was written by AI and everything inside it was non-factual. And the people put their names behind it and have now, of course, been scrapped out of the project, because how can a law firm draft a law using completely hallucinated and fabricated data? So yes, it does happen. And it's, especially when we're pressured, we tend to just do these things. All right, so the formative activity in the docs is drafting executive email. So this is official POE evidence. What we're going to do is the work you did in your groups now, we're going to set the scene. I'll go through it. We're going to say you are the lead BA on Project Nova. Your task is to draft a prompt that instructs the AI to write a 150-word email to the ABSA executive stakeholders, the CFO and the COO, summarizing progress on the SME loan onboarding digitization project. So what I've done is I've extracted, and these are my suggestions, obviously feel free to change it, is that the email should be professional and jargon free. We've stated we're going to do executives. Even if they are technically minded, there will always be some who are not, and most people would never admit it anyway. We're going to mention the salient points, right? So we use those fictitious figures of we're going to take a 3-week process down to a 3-day turnaround target. We're going to note that FICA compliance is maintained throughout, right? And we're now asking approval for the next phase. This should take, 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20. And I'm happy to, if you submit it into the LMS, I'm happy to go through it. We can discuss it. Feel free to leave comments in there. I'm more than willing to help, and let's get it going. And just a reminder around all of this is that obviously this is POE, so remember to save all your work from today, the documents, the AI input, and keep it unedited, even if you change it afterwards. Always show the original AI output, and then we can critique, and feel free to share it amongst yourselves. I mean, that is the whole point, right? Is you're all in the same team, same company, well, different team, same company, and we'll go from there. So yeah, there's my reminder. Save your prompts, the outputs, chats, your notes from your, that you've made, if you've made any. And then yeah, everything we've done today counts towards this course. What we're going to look at tomorrow is how do we use generative AI for visuals and process flows, right? We're going to look at how do we do error detection in the prompts that we get back, and how do we apply ethics into these as well, so that our work validating becomes a lot easier. And then the rest of the day will be kicking off the project for our further modules 2 through 5, which is we're going to do this, carry on this Project Nova case study. So, sorry. So, wrapping up, you've all written real prompts today. Obviously, for those that have done it before, you've written more real prompts. You've produced real BA outputs using AI. And this is what the module is all about, and the course. So I hope you all had a good time, learned, got value, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Dallas. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yes,
Well, man, have a great evening.
you too. Bye-bye.
Can we hear
Bye-bye.
what the question is? Because maybe we would, I see someone has a question. Can we? I think it's
Yeah, Dallas. So
Yes.
I just wanna, sorry. Hi. Johannes, your class is in the background. Thank
Yes,
you.
sorry, what?
No. My question is, Dallas, from my side, the documents that was sent earlier on the chat, we
Yes.
couldn't access those documents. So the activity we just did is obviously we found on the session 3 learner notes
Yes.
as activity part 1. Okay. And we did all of that. And the thing is, the other sessions that I just want to understand what exactly is the requirement for these documents that was uploaded on the LMS profile. Because I don't want to do something wrong or not upload something. I just need to understand what needs to be done, what does not need to be done. Yeah.
So the sessions 1 and 2, the recording and completing of that is for your benefit. They are used just to see that you've done the exercises as such. The important one is the one in session 3, which you have, and that's part of the formative assessment as well. So document 3 is the most important one. The others are for your own knowledge and then just to see participation going through it.
So you are saying the last section. Sorry for interrupting. You can
No. So
continue.
the documents I sent earlier were just shared from the LMS. Everything is inclusive in that session 3 document. Everything is there. There's more detail. And like I said, any questions, just you can feel free to ask me at any time. Yes, you had a question.
I think you actually answered it. So I think what Andre is asking. So are we only supposed to do the assessment in document in session 3? Complete that answers. Is that what you are saying?
So yes, so the formal activity 4, which you'll find in the other official notes that go with Evans's lectures and mine, but everything you do in sessions 1 and 2, you can use in your portfolio as well. So that's why I'm saying keep copies of it, complete it, submit it, because it just shows extra counts towards your POE as well. So every deliverable we generate is part of the POE, right? Because remember, in a non-AI world, you would still be submitting documents as, like drafts and your BRDs. These are the same thing. So Yeah, the most
Yeah,
important one's
see-
in session.
That kind of answers the question. So it's either do or don't, but suggestive do it the best way you can. There's no right or wrong, because it will form part of your portfolio evidence.
Yes, like I said, and all of them are noted, which are the mandatory, which is the one in session 3 for now. But if you submit them, I can also go through and reach out if there are any questions as well. So if there's, you don't want to ask in the public, I can just answer it back into your document or message you via the LMS, etc., etc. So yeah, feel free.
Yeah. Happiness.
Okay, sorry, Dallas, just a question. You say we can reach out to you. Where do we reach out to you? Do we have your email, or are you on the WhatsApp group?
Should be on the group, but I think Johannes will send all those details with and my mail and all that out via the LMS. It should all be there. I will confirm it is, but yeah, that would be the easiest way.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. Happiness. Thanks.
Great. See everyone tomorrow.
Thank you. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thank you, bye.